When most people hear the word dementia, they immediately think of Alzheimer's disease, but that's just one type of dementia, and understanding the differences between them is crucial for prevention and treatment. Welcome back to our Brain Health series. If you haven't watched our first video on brain basics, I recommend checking that out first. It'll help you understand today's topic better. Today, we're going to explore the three main types of dementia and other important causes of memory loss that might surprise you. Let's start with Alzheimer's dementia. Picture your brain as a vast city with billions of streets and intersections representing the connections between neurons. In Alzheimer's disease, it's as if this city starts developing roadblocks and tangles in its streets. Scientifically, we call these roadblocks plaques and tangles. These plaques are rich in something called beta-amyloid, a protein that's actually present in all our brains in small amounts. But in Alzheimer's disease, there's much more of it. Interestingly, beta-amyloid has antimicrobial properties, which has led some researchers to wonder if there might be an infectious trigger for Alzheimer's, though this hasn't been proven yet. Now, here's something fascinating about Alzheimer's. Genetics can play a role through something called the ApoE4 gene variant. If you have one copy of this gene, your risk of developing Alzheimer's may be 2 to 3 times the risk of the average person who does not have this variant. If you have 2 copies, that risk goes up to 8 to 10 times the risk of the average person. But, and this is crucial, having this variant doesn't mean you're destined to get Alzheimer's. It only means that you may have an increased risk. What is also really important to know is that there are things you can do to modify this risk. I will talk about what you can do if you have the ApoE4 gene to reduce your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease in an upcoming video. Alzheimer's has another interesting aspect. It's sometimes called type 3 diabetes of the brain. This is because the brain cells become resistant to insulin, similar to what happens in type 2 diabetes. But here's the difference. In Alzheimer's, this insulin resistance is specifically in the brain and is tightly linked to inflammation. You can actually be quite thin and still have this type of brain insulin resistance. Let's move on to our second type of dementia, Lewy body dementia. This condition has some unique characteristics that set it apart. It's more common in men, and often one of the first signs is that people start having falls. They might also experience visual hallucinations, and they tend to be extremely sensitive to antipsychotic medications. Think of Lewy body dementia as having little protein deposits called Lewy bodies scattered throughout the brain. These deposits are different from the plaques and tangles we see in Alzheimer's, and they affect the brain in different ways. The third major type is vascular dementia, and this one is fascinating because it's so closely tied to our cardiovascular health. Vascular dementia occurs when the blood supply to parts of your brain is reduced or blocked, either through one large stroke or, more commonly, through multiple small strokes that you might not even notice when they happen. Let me share a remarkable study that shows how these different types of dementia can interact. It's called the Italian Nun Study. Researchers followed a group of nuns throughout their lives and examined their brains after they passed away. What they found was astounding. Some nuns had all the physical signs of Alzheimer's in their brains, but never showed symptoms during their lives unless they also had small strokes. This teaches us something crucial. Having good cardiovascular health might help protect you even if you have the physical changes of Alzheimer's in your brain. But here's something really important. Memory loss isn't always caused by dementia. There are several other conditions that can affect memory. Depression and anxiety can create symptoms that look very similar to dementia. In fact, a 2013 study showed that people with depression had significant trouble recognizing patterns they'd seen before, a classic memory task. Other common causes include brain injuries, both traumatic and subtle, side effects from medications, which we'll discuss in detail in our next video, nutritional deficiencies, especially in B vitamins, sleep disorders, particularly sleep apnea, thyroid problems, vitamin B12 deficiency. This is actually good news because many of these conditions are treatable or even reversible. That's why it's so important to work with healthcare professionals to identify the specific cause of any memory problems you're experiencing. Understanding these different types of memory loss isn't just academic, it's practical. Each type has different risk factors, different prevention strategies, and different treatments. In our upcoming videos, we'll explore specific strategies for protecting your brain, against each of these conditions. Next time, we'll dive into how medications can affect your brain health and what you can do about it. Trust me, some of what we'll discuss might surprise you. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, share this video with someone you care about. Knowledge is power when it comes to brain health. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in our next video where we'll explore the surprising ways medications can affect your brain health.